Today we're taking the boat down to Bellingham to have the bottom painted and the zincs replaced. It's early morning on the day of the departure. We have just a light breeze rippling the water. Leaving Birch Bay, we pass this commercial crabber who's getting ready to pick up their traps. We get a nice view of Mount Baker on the way, the third highest mountain in Washington. We're past the southern end of Lummi Island and turning east and entering Bellingham Bay and heading for the Seaview North Boatyard. We've arrived at the boatyard. Maggie Ann is now being guided into the slings. The gantry operator positions the slings and then he does a short lift to see how well balanced the boat is between the fore and aft slings. The load readings show that the boat is heavier in the stern, so the boat's set back into the water and the aft sling is moved a couple of feet back to balance the load. When looking at the bottom, the hull looks relatively clean, but the drive units and the trim tabs have lots of growth on them. Most of the zincs showed minimal wear. They were replaced about a year ago when a galvanic isolator was installed at the same time. The one exception of this is that the anodes and the exhaust ports are almost completely gone. So I guess the ACP system or the galvanic isolator is not effective for these zincs. The bronze washers on the plate anodes had a fair amount of crud on them, so I filed the surface back to bare metal before I installed the new zincs. Volvo recommends removing the propellers annually and greasing the prop shaft, so that's what we're doing here. Note that the forward propeller has 3 blades and the rear propeller has 4 blades. And this is the design because a prop with fewer blades is more efficient in undisturbed water, so that's the forward prop. And it provides the initial thrust and creates a rotational flow of water behind it. The water reaching the rear prop then has been accelerated, and the higher blade count of the rear prop provides more surface area and captures that swirling water flow and converts that rotational energy into additional forward thrust. The propellers are marked with a part number. These are type T2. They're made of nibral, which is an alloy of nickel, bronze, and aluminum. The prop speed coating on the drive units doesn't seem to prevent barnacle growth, but it does make them easy to remove. When removing the propellers, we noticed that one blade was bent on the port side rear prop. So apparently we had a prop strike at some point, although I don't recall hitting anything and we haven't noticed any vibration during operation, but we did in fact notice some increased fuel consumption on that engine side. Our mechanic recommended the prop shop in Mukilteo for straightening the propeller. For each propeller type, the shop stocks a corresponding precision machined metal pitch block that is used to check and repair propeller pitch accuracy. So these blocks essentially act as an anvil, and the repair specialist uses a leather hammer and this anvil to restore the prop to the correct shape.
Two-part cone thing here, there. So a cone will come in, tighten it down, and then whatever blade drops is heavy. Use this belt here, sand off, whatever you'd sand off there.
The old prop speed coating is burned off of the propeller, and that's done so that it doesn't gum up the glass bead blaster over here, which is the next step in preparing the prop. And the final step in the process is to use this MRI machine to scan the propeller and compare it to the original factory design specs. And back in the boatyard, we're discussing whether to move the upper edge of the bottom paint a few inches higher up to the green tape. And the idea there would be to help control the soft growth near the water line. The original bottom paint is 3 years old now, still mostly intact, but starting to wear in spots showing the underlying red gel coat. The original paint on the boat was Seahawk AF33. It's about $150 a gallon. It's been very effective against barnacle growth. However, we decided to change and use Seahawk BioCop for the new paint. It's about double the price, thinking maybe it would help with the soft growth near the waterline. Before we get started on the bottom paint, we need to clean up the drive units and trim tabs. Everything is going to be wire brushed to get it ready for the new application of the prop speed treatment. The trim tabs had no coating on them previously. You can see they're totally covered with barnacles. They should definitely benefit from a prop speed application. The first layer of bottom paint is now on, and the drive units and trim tabs have all been cleaned up and they're ready for their prop speed coating. The trim tabs are looking good. Even the light fixtures on the trim tabs have gotten a coating of something called Light Speed, which is a transparent version of prop speed. And now we're just waiting on the propellers to be finished. Well, we had a strong windstorm yesterday, and that caused the threads connecting the zipper on the front of the bimini to come apart. So the threads holding the other half of the zipper on the front here have pulled out. And there are some other rips that are starting. So the polyester thread does degrade with UV exposure, which eventually results in this sort of problem. Well, fortunately, there is a marine canvas repair shop that's close by in Blaine, Catnap Canvas. Their shop has 2 commercial walking foot sewing machines and lots of counter space, which is important for this sort of work. The canvas shop restitched all of the zippers and structural elements using Teflon thread, which apparently has a longer life expectancy than the original polyester thread. Catnap Canvas did an excellent job. They returned the repaired bimini back to me the very next day, and here it is back in place. Okay, well, the final coat of paint is on. The propellers are back from the prop shop, and so now we've greased the drive unit shafts and reinstalled the propellers. So all the work is finished, and the yard has scheduled me for a 3 p.m. launch tomorrow to be put back in the water. The weather forecast is good, and this red sky in the evening says we should have a good trip tomorrow. And it's launch day. We're moving Maggie Ann now back to the loading dock. The new paint and the prop speed looks good in the sunshine. And just a reminder of what everything looked like in the before photo. And back in the water. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.